Guys, today's class is going to be more beginner focused. So for those of you who've been on my class for a little bit, it's going to be a little bit more of a beginner focused class since we do have just so many new students joining in, and this is everyone's first class. Brooklyn, good to see you. That you made it, were able to hop on class as well. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good to be here.
Awesome. Happy to have you here with us. And it says Alway on my end on screen. Can you hear me okay, Alway?
Mhm.
Can you hear me okay, Alway, by chance? Not sure if you can hear me on that in there. I'm taking a little bit of background noise. But guys, huge congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for hopping on my class today. We couldn't be more than happy to have you here. So the way that this class is typically structured is number one, we kind of go around, we understand kind of where everyone's at inside of the BizOps Academy. We talk about kind of what projects you're working on, if you need any help with those projects, everything along those lines. And then we actually dive into a lesson slash lecture for the day. That way everyone can leave with some sort of value point from this call, right? This class happens every day, Monday through Friday, and we want to make sure that everyone leaves with some form of value point in each and every one of those classes. That's going to be covering a variety of different tools. It's going to be covering a variety of different concepts, everything along those lines. Now, before we dive in a little bit further, I do want to introduce some of the students that have been here for a while, who have experience and everything along those lines that are also really just great community members. So if you get a message from them or you ask a question, you might be expecting responses from them as well. Alec has been here for a really long time as well. Alec, if you can come off mute, raise your hand, say what's up to everybody. Alec has been in for a while. He is also a BizOps Academy student. He's the furthest inside of the BizOps Academy, working through Zapier at the moment, and he's just always really helpful answering students' questions and everything along those lines. He's working towards getting some of his first paid gigs inside of the academy as well, and working on some freelance projects, different things along those lines. Also, here's Tristan. Tristan is absolutely crushing it BizOps wise. Tristan, if you want to talk about some of the projects that you've landed, maybe what you've been working on recently as well.
Yeah, actually, I have an exciting announcement too on that. I just made this month. I made more halfway through the month, more freelancing than I did at my day job. I will at my day job for the entire month. So
Dude, that's awesome,
that is a
man.
big win for me. And Jill has obviously been helping me with some of these projects. The biggest one I'm working on right now is it's actually a corporate sort of insurance. They have a bunch of different companies, but the one I'm working on right now is this uh, site where they're insuring golfing competitions, right?
Mm.
Super old site, super horrible site. Like I have nightmares about what their site looked like before. Just they took WordPress and then they stuck a whole bunch of code blocks in and wrote it, but it was a bunch of Indian devs who wrote it. Like worst code ever in WordPress with the worst practices ever. So I had to rebuild it all in Elementor. Of course, has to be pixel perfect. So I actually ended up having to build a tool to overlay and match and everything. But so that's my biggest project, and then I've been working on a couple smaller websites for one's for a company that installs that I don't know if anybody of you ever seen a picture of a like aircraft cockpit, all the screens and stuff. I'm building a site for a company that installs those, and then another one for actually a videographer who works for my parents.
So I know, Tristan, you work as an aircraft mechanic. Is that site where, when it comes to actual working with airplanes, is that more interest alignment? Do you find that from your current job?
No, I actually, well, I went on Upwork and looked for aircraft website builds just because I know that I know the keywords and I know how to stand out to a client like that. I gotta say, I don't actually like working for those clients because there's just a certain type of person who works in the aircraft industry, and they honestly are not they're not very interested in being online and progressive when it comes to their website and stuff, and they definitely know how they want things, and they don't really care what you think.
100%.
Yeah, so I can't say I enjoy like I don't go look for those people generally.
100%. I got
Unless
you, but since you know like all the keywords and you know what to say, it makes it a
oh
little
yeah,
picking up those gigs.
I mean, so I went. I mean, and this is a great thing for people looking for jobs in any industry if you're familiar with it, construction, plumbing, whatever it is. Um, I went on Upwork and I searched aviation or something. I forget what I searched. I found a couple of jobs. What I did is I was like, hey, I am a aircraft mechanic. I'm a pilot. I understand who your clients are. I understand it from your guys' perspective. When we're talking about putting in avionics, I know the difference between a G3X and a G1000. I'm not going to screw that up on your website. Because I have that knowledge, I was able to present a very strong profile of why I'd be such a good fit.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that falls right into interest alignment, right? Kind of using the knowledge that you already know from your current job or what your current experience is, and using that as a way to kind of leverage you into different gigs and things along those lines. So, granted, I'm sure probably working with those clients is probably not as fun since it's the type of people that they are, but also it probably made it a little bit easier to actually get that gig since you knew what to say, you knew how the process works, everything along those lines.
oh yeah, I landed it, no questions asked. That wasn't an issue just because of my background there. So.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, this is Tristan as well. Tristan is also just an awesome community member. He's way further inside of BizOps. He's always reaching out, helping students. I've seen him hop in the lounge, help students, everything along those lines. So you might be getting messages from him if you ever ask a question. Also, this is Alexis. Alexis has also just been absolutely crushing it on the freelancing side of things. Recently, he finished up building it. I always say it wrong, but it's a remodeling business, right, Alexis? If you want to kind of touch on that, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, so one of the projects that I've recently finished is building a website for a home remodeling business. And I ended up getting paid like $400 for that. And currently, right now, I just finished up doing some work for one of my other clients, and I'm waiting on a response from a client that I was working on a website redesign with.
Awesome. Well, guys, Alec, Tristan, and Alexis have been with me for a really long time, attending a wide variety of classes. And so if you guys ever get messages from them as well, just know they're awesome community members. They're also always trying to help out in every which way that they can, everything along those lines. But guys, real quickly, I just want to go through because I know a handful of you guys have been working on certain projects and we have certain questions and everything along those lines. Avery, I know we had some issues getting into Pressable. I know I got to see some of your messages there as well. And then so we'll kind of go through and help kind of diagnose some of those individual issues or set up a time to diagnose those issues. And then we'll go ahead and move forward for the lesson for today's call. You guys know how my calls usually run. It's usually, I say it's an hour, but it usually goes to about an hour and a half since we spend some time going through different problems and things along those lines. But first things first, I want to go to Roman. I want to go to you first because I know you had a couple questions regarding the actual website template for the potential client that you're working with. I know that the client you're working with is the New York Ballroom Studio, and we're wanting to build them a WordPress site, correct?
Yep, site's getting a facelift.
Site's getting a facelift. Awesome. And that individual site, I went ahead and added that kit that I showed you. Were you able to see that reflected on the site by chance?
Where was that kit supposed to be added?
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull it up here.
Because I'm having trouble finding it at the moment.
Yeah, no worries. I'll go ahead and open it up. And were you able to start going through the WordPress module in the curriculum to kind of get familiar with it?
Yes, that I was able to start.
Awesome. So I'm going to show it here real quickly. Let me find New York. I got to scroll a little bit of a ways. KLMN. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. So let me share my screen here, and I'll show you kind of how to see where that is actually at. Chris, you just finished med spa. Heck yeah, dude. We'll check it out. I can't wait to see it. That's a fun assignment. Wait a little introduce you to multi-page websites. Okay, let's see here real quickly. Oh, it looks like it may have not been added. So let me go ahead and add it real quickly. So I'm gonna share. I'll share my screen. That way you can see what I'm doing, Roman, and then I'll show you how to kind of get access to it. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay.
I can now. Yes.
Awesome. So this is the kit that we're gonna add to your site, Roman, because this is the exact site that Alec built. Alex set this up, but I gotta tug on Alex because this is a project that he made for a client. Alec, how much you get paid for this?
150 is what it ended up being.
150, and he set up kind of this draft for it's an interactive music studio site. And this is a really, really awesome kit because before this, it was a marketing agency and academy. And if you guys want to see what their site looked like before Alec did this, don't laugh because honestly, this is probably something I would make if we didn't have templates and kits. Let me show here. Music studio. This is what their site looked like before. Very cookie cutter. Doesn't look that great. Like we have some issues with like the underlying text. So using the kit, Alec was able to take this and turn it into this. And this is really pretty. Like a lot of really nice animations. A lot of really nice kind of like services section that'll show like the different lessons you can learn if you want to learn guitar. I just love this. I have to show the SpongeBob one. He put in some placeholder text here, but obviously this is not going to say SpongeBob SquarePants relatively quickly since using the kit. So I think this falls exactly in line for something like the dance studio, Roman. So let's go ahead and add this kit to yours. That way you can just start plugging and playing things, okay? And where did you leave off on the WordPress curriculum?
Went through like all the elementary parts, like how to add and edit all the components.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and come to our templates here. We'll go to website templates, and then I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find Roman. You'll be able to go in and adjust the colors, like the global colors, and adjust all of that theme. And you'll be able to go in and like kind of enhance the services, maybe turn it into more of like a centered around what kind of dance lessons you can learn, different things along those lines. Does that make sense? Awesome. So we'll go ahead and apply that kit. It's going to ask us to remove it, get rid of that one, and we'll apply that bad boy on here. And that'll be a really strong foundation to actually building out the site. So for those of you that are very new, that have just we do this, right? Because realistically, everyone that's been on my class multiple times has heard me say this so many times. And I'm not a designer. I'm not an artist. I am like, if like my pictures were never put up on the fridge, my family did not want to keep any of my drawings. I think they're not an artist, right? But I can build websites. And the reason why I can build websites is because I know that somewhere out there, someone was able to build something 10 times better looking than I could ever create. But I know how to plug and play what I need into that site to optimize it for a business. Yes, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not an artist. Anyone here can we agree? We're not. Is anyone here also just not an artist? Like not the best drawer? Chris, not the best drawer.
Yeah.
Kimberly, Avery, not the best drawer. Chris Linson, you a good drawer. Brooklyn, how about yourself? Oh, I'm awful. Yeah, I am the worst. Russ, Russ, are you a good drawer? Right.
Not at all.
But I know that somewhere out there, someone was able to make something that looks 10 times better than anything I could create. I build ugly in Minecraft. Yeah, I'm the same way, dude. We got dirt houses going. It's not a good look. Legos, but that's about as good as it gets, right? And so I'm not an artist, but I know somewhere out there, someone created something that looks beautiful, that looks amazing, and I know that I can take that and optimize it for whatever it is I'm trying to build. Like inside of WordPress, which is the first tool that if you're new, the first tool that you learn, because it's the easiest barrier of entry into getting some text work. So these templates, these are beautiful, like in my opinion. Like if anything's like a little bit more of a serious tonality, there's this really cool, okay. It didn't load all the way. Maybe not that one. It's like not loading. It doesn't look like that. I don't know why it's not loading. So like all of these different templates, these are sites that actually can make really cool websites. But we could take this and we could optimize this for a fruit bar or a local restaurant, right? And we can take and just plug and play images. We can adjust the text. We can go in and put like different call to action instead of join us book, reserve a table, different things along those lines. We can start with kids. Now, Alexis is just a good designer, and he can actually just do all this from scratch, and that's cool, Alexis. Because I know for a fact that landscaping site, you made that from scratch.
Yeah,
right?
but that's
saying
really actually mostly due to because I only started doing like the WordPress stuff after I was already really well versed with HTML and CSS. And a lot of that knowledge just really jump started me with how Elementor works.
Alexis, you're just
To be honest,
downplaying your skills, man. You're a good designer. Okay, you got that eye for design. Like if you were to ask me to build something from scratch, guys, it's gonna turn out and look like something like this. Cookie cutter, and that's because I'm just not a designer, right? I'm just not a designer. But knowing that there's people out there who have created templates like this, I know I can go in and plug in and play these templates in order to make something really, really special for businesses and clients. Really, really special for businesses and clients. So what you're going to find is inside of the curriculum, it's not about becoming a wizard designer because that's like an art, right? Some people have it, some people don't. I don't have it. Maybe you don't have it. Maybe you do have it. That's just another plus. Fastest way we can deliver a fully functioning site to a client. The way we can do that is not by building it from scratch, unless we're really, really good. It's by using pre-built templates and solutions in order to solve those problems as quickly as possible. Because Alec, how long did it take you to work on the first draft?
My first draft took me about 5 hours and 61 weeks.
That is so. Wait a second. Are you tricking me? Wait. I was gonna say.
Seriously, for first draft, it took me about 5 hours.
Okay, 5 hours. Yeah, that's more of it. I was like, did you say 6 to 8 weeks? I was like, wait a second. No, so this took him about 5 hours to make. Ready for the client. Like this is maybe I would say what would you say, Alec? I'd say like maybe 4 to 5 hours before this is like client ready. Installing with Acuity, maybe putting the pictures added, like that way it's not like the pre-built ones. I'd say maybe like 4 to 5 hours before this is client ready.
Yeah, that's really all it would take. Just once they actually send over their tar stuff and their actual images they want to use, yeah, only a couple hours.
Exactly. That's a huge improvement. Now, building this from scratch, Alexis, you have like a lot of really like from scratch. Building this from scratch, what do you think it would take to build this exact same site from zero?
yeah,
I know it'd be way more than
I can see like some things there that you might need to like tweak around to like replicate some of the effects. Like for example, the very top part in the header, how it has that curve right there. You might have to do like some tinkering to figure that stuff out, and that can take some time.
What would you say? I would say like maybe 2 weeks. Maybe like a week.
I'd say like yeah, from
1
like
week.
1 week to 2 weeks, probably. Yeah.
So we went from maybe 10 hours of work time to build something like this using a template to a week and a half to 2 weeks of building this from scratch around. That's being able to, hey, this is a $400 project or a $250 project or a $500 project. We were able to get it done in less than 10 hours. That's me saving a little bit of time versus building it from scratch, spending a week and a half for a $500 project. Now you're kind of eating up time that could be spent going out and getting more projects. So what you guys are going to find, especially those along those lines, don't that you have to be just this wizard designer who can build everything from scratch, right? You need to understand basic principles of design, like, hey, maybe this shouldn't be black because it's on like kind of a black gradient here. You have to understand, like, hey, maybe we should have these curved edges because that's a little bit more appealing to the eye, right? You have to understand these simple things, but you don't have to become a full-fledged designer, right? Because but knowing that someone out there has that eye and they built things for me to use makes it a lot easier. So that's one of the primary things that you'll learn as you start going through the modules and everything along those lines. So Roman, I went ahead and added this kit, or let's make it added here. Oh, I think it did. It did. Yep, you already applied this website. Cool. So now when you open this up, Roman, you'll be able to easily go in and see underneath the pages section here, we have our home to the elements for builder. Any day now. Any day now. There we go. And look at that. There's that kit. And now you can start plugging and playing. You can adjust the global colors, going underneath site settings and really kind of make this like instead of blue, right? Let's say you wanted it like green maybe, and it'll start adjusting everything automatically. Okay. Awesome. I can't wait to see how this turns out, man. It's gonna be really cool to see.
To do a good job on it.
No, don't sell yourself, man. You got the skills. You got the skills. You got it.
Very much.
You got it. Absolutely. Now, actually inside of the Pressable, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mic.
No worries. What kind of mic you got?
I got some $20 mic that I bought off of Amazon. Like
I got it.
I want to say
I can see that you're a gamer because you
So,
got the
I mean,
gaming chair, the mic. I'm sure there's like maybe one or two monitors that you're working with right now. So I got you, man.
I'm purely on the laptop.
Oh, on a laptop? Are you a gamer?
A little bit.
Heck yeah. Well, man, let's go ahead and troubleshoot real quickly. So, did you get an email from Pressable?
I did. Lord. Yeah. I did, and I accepted it and everything. But the main issue I'm having now, is the fact of when I update my password or press, it gives me okay, I'm in the error message that says Lord, I'm unable to update the password. Try again later.
Okay, let's do this, Avery. Let's stay on after class because I'm staying on with Alan as well to make sure he can get out. Okay.
Okay. How long will this
So
be?
we'll probably in class because I'm about to dive into a lesson for the next 30 minutes, and then after that, you, me, and Alan can stay on to make sure you can get access to Pressable. It won't
Okay.
take too long to get you access. Okay. Awesome. Now, real quickly, does anyone have any questions before we dive into lesson today? And Chris, you want to stay on as well? Yep, that works just fine. Anyone have any questions before we dive in? Yep, Russ,
Sorry,
absolutely.
I know you and I talked about joining to have a conversation.
Yeah. Let's talk about what the Texas Roadhouse thing.
Absolutely. And I was gonna say I didn't want to steal your lesson plan or anything like that. Really
It'll tie in directly to what we're talking about today. It's gonna tie in just into what we're talking about today. So guys, what was cool is like if you've attended my class a handful of times, you're gonna understand the reference right off the riff when I say this. And I'm actually gonna use this as a way to kind of go back into the lesson. Brooklyn, I finally logged into Pressable because I was behind on videos. Couldn't log into Pressable site at first. Start videos to memory. So now it gets stuck. Yeah, you know what, Brooklyn, if you want to stay on as well, that way we can make sure that you got access to everything perfectly fine there. And we can do that, okay?
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Sorry
So
about it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna share my screen real quickly.
Hey,
Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So real quickly, I went to Texas Roadhouse the other day and I saw BizOps because if you attend my class, I tell you, you're gonna see it everywhere if you actually start looking. You're gonna see it everywhere if you start looking. So I went to Texas Roadhouse the other hamburger or what side I want, and then on the bottom right hand side of the menu, I see this button here, or it's not a button. Sorry. I see this print off here. Hey, scan this QR code, join our VIP club, and receive a free appetizer on your next visit. And this is something that you see in a lot of local restaurants. This is something that you see everywhere, realistically. Scan this code, right? Scan this code at the nail salon, and you'll get $10 off next visit. Scan this code at the bar, and you'll get $20 off your next visit, right? And you get all of these different, promos asking you to, put in some information. You get information, you get something. Now, for those of you that have attended my class, where am I going to go if I scan this QR code? Where's this QR code going to take me? Anyone, feel free to come on.
Sorry, I was muted. I said probably their website.
Probably their website.
That's
Anybody
going
else?
to take you to your form to get your information and where to send the QR code, send the coupon, I guess.
Okay, take me to some kind of form to fill out. Anybody else have any other idea where this might take me when I scan this?
Some kind of funnel.
Some kind of funnel. That's a good one. I like that. One other person. Where might this take me? Anyone can come off mute. Where might this take me when I scan it? Alan, I'll come to you. Since it's your first class, it's going to take me.
Probably to the website, probably to a form that you fill out your information.
Cool. Somewhere where I fill out my information. I love that. So where this is going to take me, this is going to take me to what's called a landing page. This is going to take me to what's called a landing page. And that's something to collect my information. And we'll see how this relates to BizOps here in just a moment. So there's a QR. Let's look at Texas internal app that you download, and you can like do a bunch of different things on there. Well, let's pretend they didn't, right? Let's pretend Texas Roadhouse. They just asked you. Oh, let me get rid of that. Texas Roadhouse. You go to Texas Roadhouse. You look at their menu. Look at their menu, right? You look at their menu, and then on their menu they have a scan QR code for a free appetizer. Scan the QR code, get a free appetizer. Cool. So I scan this, and I'm appetizer. That's like the real question, right? So you're telling me I'm going to scan this QR code, I'm going to somehow get some cool free appetizer. How do I actually get that free appetizer? The way that I get that free appetizer is because once I actually scan that QR code, they're not just going to give it to me, right? Because they don't want to give something out for free. Like, they don't get, and I get that appetizer, they want something from me. Someone take a guess as to what they want from me whenever I scan that QR code.
Personal information.
Personal information, and it says T2818. Can you tell me your name by chance?
Steve.
Said that? Steve. Okay, awesome. Thanks for hopping in today.
Okay.
You have to stay on as well. Okay. Awesome. So, Steve, they want my personal information. Give me that free appetizer. They want something from me. And that personal information typically is going to consist of what, Alec?
That's your name, phone number, email. That's your generic ones. Depending on what it is, they'll ask for your address. But for the most part, it's generally name, email, phone number.
They want my name. They want my email. They want my phone number. Before I give you that free appetizer, Connor, because you came to Texas Roadhouse. You're ready to already spend, you know, I don't know how much. It's like usually like what 44 before you pay $50. I want your name, email, and phone number. That's essentially what they're telling me. Now, once they get that information, then I get my free appetizer, right? I get my free appetizer. Cool. Sweet. Now I get my free appetizer. I'm happy. Go somewhere. My information
Stored in a database.
is stored in some kind of database. Now, someone tell me, what do we consider a database here in BizOps? CRM, exactly, Roman. So they're going to store my information in a CRM. Next thing that you learn after WordPress, right? So using WordPress, what do you think we could build that would be relevant to this process here?
Ready?
You have an idea? Say again. Say again, Steve.
What do you mean? What do you think we could build?
Yeah. So we know. So WordPress is what we use to build websites, and we can use it to build different pages.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone goes to Texas Roadhouse. You look at their menu. You scan a QR code, and it takes you to a page. The very first thing that you learn inside of BizOps. Okay. So I could build that page that collects that form information using WordPress, that first tool that we're going to learn inside of BizOps. And Steve, I know you just joined in, so it's kind of like dropping you right in the sauce. I promise we'll stay on and get you up to speed on everything as well, okay? Or I can build it using a different builder like ClickFunnels or anything along those lines. Great. Now, after I build that page, someone's able to scan that QR code. They fill out their information. Now they're going to get some kind of maybe text or email saying, here's your free appetizer for your next visit. Show this to your waiter and you'll get a free appetizer, right? Now what's happening on the back end is they want to do something with that information. And in BizOps terms, we call that database a CRM because there's a variety of different databases we can make. We can use a Google Sheet. We can store all of our information in a Google Sheet, but that can get a little bit crowded. We can run into a lot of problems if we just put it inside of Google Sheet. So instead, we're going to store it inside where we can house all of the information related to this one person. So if we want to send that person some text messages, some emails, if we want to send them some promos, come back, buy one, get one 50% off here at Texas Roadhouse. Leave with a free basket of rolls, even though they're free anyway. They're so good. Get 50% off your next meal. Get a free entree this day only. It's your birthday. Get a free dessert. Now they can do that because they collected my information.
One thing I want to say is I come from the CRM world.
Yeah.
That's what I spent 20 years doing. And really, to me, the database is separate. The CRM is the allowing the customer, the employees, the marketing staff, everyone to have the same view of the customer.
Yeah, customer relationship.
So it's software, but the database is.
Yeah, one thing you'll find,
end.
Steve, is I'm not a huge terminology person. I think everyone here that's been on my class, like you guys can agree, like I'm not huge on the terminology. Realistically, it's
Right.
a house.
I would call it a CRM database.
Yeah,
is what
I'm
I
not.
would say.
You're gonna find, Steve, I'm not a huge terminology person.
Okay.
So
I just want to clarify.
yeah.
You know, it's okay if you want to say that. You know, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding.
100%. The
Actually
best
mean.
way I like to think about it is once I fill out this form, my information is going to go somewhere.
Right.
Because they will
Right.
use my information to do more things, just like sending a text message. Right? Now they can send me a text message inside of CRM and they can see all those text messages. They can send me an email saying, send me promos.
Yeah.
Hey, buy one, get one. They can give me birthday gifts. It's your birthday. Get a free dessert. Right? Now Texas Roadhouse is going to try and get me back in the door. And this is using a restaurant example, right? We have our slow days. We have our, let me see here.
They're using mass email systems.
Exactly. And we can set those up inside of a CRM. So cool. Look, now I have their information, and the business, they typically have slow days, right? Any restaurant, like your Monday through Wednesday, right? They're going to have Monday through Wednesday is their slow days at like 2 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That's typically going to be like a business's slow days. So now it's a business's slow days. Monday through Wednesday to have your information. Because all we had to give you was a free appetizer. It cost us $12. But if you come back through one of our systems, such as our text messages, our promo emails, our promo messages, or our birthday reminders, now we just made $40 more off of you. And it only cost us $12. That seems like a pretty $12 to get your information, but now I have a way to get you back in my door at 4 p.m. Wow, that's a pretty good steal for me. Now our slow days are picking up. And over time, how many people do you guys think you're going to scan for that free appetizer? I almost did. I didn't because I probably should scan it, honestly. I could show like the emails and stuff. But over time, we're talking, Texas Roadhouse here in Lubbock, Texas probably gets like upwards of 250 people or 300 customers. It's crazy, but we only have one Texas Roadhouse that's really popular. Man, of those 300, 400 people, I'm willing to bet maybe, 10 to 20 of them fill us out to get a free appetizer. Over time, every single day, that's like 70 contacts. It keeps growing. Now we got 400 people in our list. Now we're filling up those slots for businesses and clients because not a lot of people have things like this set up. Texas Roadhouse is so popular, like it's everywhere, right? It's in California. It's Texas Roadhouse in California, right? It's everywhere, right? So they got this coffee shops, local businesses. They don't have things like this set up. And this could apply virtually anywhere. This could apply virtually anywhere, right? A nail salon has a code where if you put in your email and phone number, you get $10 off your next nail visit. See, the $80 if you want a full pedicure manicure, $10 off, still making $70 profit. That's a pretty good steal. Coffee shop, come in and get a free coffee. Free coffee is like $6, but now we got your name, your email, your phone number. We can text you, we can get you to come back. We can send you emails about promos and discounts. Now we get you a reason to come back. Right? Such a market for this type of work, and a lot of businesses don't even know that this exists, especially local mom and pop restaurants, especially local businesses that aren't really that tech savvy. If you can come in and set systems like this up for local businesses, you can easily charge good amounts of money for these types of builds. Does that make sense, everyone? Everyone follow me so far? Any questions over what we just covered?
Not really, actually. You covered it pretty cool.
Awesome. Russ, does that kind of answer from the day that I sent that in? What's funny is I made this example like so many times on my class. So like when I saw it on class, and I wanted to send it in. But Russ, since this is probably your first class with me, actual BizOps wise, that's why it's so important, right? Because it's more about how can we help the business set up systems like this. That way they can go out charge for this ongoing maintenance. Because Texas Roadhouse, they have a whole team doing this.
Yeah.
They have a whole behind the scenes working on this. Let's say there's this local coffee shop next to me, and everyone who's been on my class is like, thank God you're not pulling up that Lubbock restaurant. Because I always up. But there's this they have like sushi and stuff, which is just weird, but it's cool. So they have like this cool coffee shop. Yeah, I see your face. It's weird, man. It's like a bistro instead of a coffee, but it's cool. I love it. I go there all the time because I'm like, sushi, coffee, tea, sounds great. But first of all, if we're looking at this right off the riff, this is a pretty cookie cutter website. This is a pretty cookie cutter website. Like that's cool. But overall, as a website, there's not really a whole lot going on here. I don't see what the coffee shop looks like. I have my order online functionality, which I think is pretty neat. Like, not a lot of places have that. That's pretty cool. I have our About Us section with like these are not really good. So maybe this coffee shop is having an issue where they're not getting a lot of people in. And that's one of the reasons I go, is because there's like nobody there inside. So I'll go here all the time. But maybe that's one of the issues they're having. Dang, we can't get this place to fill up. Well, number one, we could revamp this site using one of our cool templates inside of WordPress. Right? We could make this look really pretty. We could do something like this. We could get a different template. We could do something different, right? Instead of the services section, it can actually be the menu items where you can order. If we scroll down, we get some cool reviews, maybe something like that. Like, we can make this look pretty, right? That's the easy. Oh, I see.
Their kitchen.
Say again?
Showing their kitchen.
Yeah, showing everything.
Do they have a clean kitchen?
Exactly. Like, I'll tell you what, Alan, I didn't even know that they sold sushi until I went in there. And I actually looked at the website before, and they didn't have improvement on the site, right? It looks like they're using Square as the web builder, which is not a really good builder. So cool. Okay, let's say we go into All About Chala, and we're like, hey, I'll build your website for $250, right? Because I'm new. I want to kind of get my head right. Like, they're not going to be able to pay me $15,000 to build this, but I'll build it for $250, $300. Cool. Now that I've built the site, I want to think about what's the intention behind it. What's the intention behind this site? Because we have a problem that's, hey, you guys aren't getting a lot of people to sit down on your restaurant. Well, what offered you? That's not really enticing to me. You know what I mean? Because now I have to buy it 6 times, depending on my experience. Like, there's nowhere that really promoted that. I had to go inside to find that. So, okay, maybe we can find something a little bit better. So maybe we have something revamped it and it looks something beautiful like this, and it says, fill out, get a free cup of coffee. Something simple, right? Instead, when I click this button, it takes me to fill out a form that collects my information, right? Now I get a text that says, here's your code for a free coffee. Give this code to the person, whatever. Now I have to go inside, get my free coffee. Cool. But then on the back end, my information is now stored inside of the seat. All About Shaw, this coffee shop, can send me text messages, send me emails, send me promos, give me birthday gifts. And look at that. Now they're starting to fill up their seats. That's what business operations is all about. And this is building sites, building pages with actual intentions, not just come look at this information, but more of what do I want you to do on this site. Then understanding that information that I get from that site or from that landing page has to go somewhere. And I need to do something with that information. put them in a CRM. Now I can send them automated text messages, automated emails, automated reminders, whatever that may be. Then I have that information in everything. And that is the core foundation for beginning with BizOps. Building sites with an intention, building CRMs to help house and create our data lakes where we get all this information all in one place. Using that information to send out automated texts and emails. That way, no one's having to do that stuff manually because that takes a lot of time, and the time that you learn when you're going through the curriculum material. Now, for those of you that join, there's a variety of different things that you get access to, right? Number one is Pressable. And so Pressable is where you actually build your sites. This is where you're going to actually like come in, you'll be able to hit one press login, it'll take you to the site builder where you can, okay.
WordPress
yes, absolutely.
has its own domains that it sets up, right? But more than likely, a business that's already extant is going to have its own domain. Are the WordPress
you can easily just plug in that domain for whatever site that for whatever domain that they have.
So it will actually be hosted on that server, or will we
so it depends on what they're looking for. So if they have their own hosting platform, you would just migrate it to theirs. So much for hopping on, man. I appreciate you hopping on class. Feel free to hop on tomorrow. It's good to see you.
Started bolt early. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're good, man. You have a great one. And so there, you can just move it over, or if they never had anything set up, Steve, we would let you just use our Pressable to host it on ours.
And just like have WordPress.xxx.com or something like that.
You would set it up with an actual domain and different things like that.
Okay.
And but
okay. I was just curious.
And Bradley, this is something that we've been talking about setting up. Can we have a section that covers hosting? This is something that we're getting more questions on, so I think it's something that we'll be adding in very soon, very, very soon. Because it is kind of like, I think, it's just a little bit of like, hey, this is where this needs to go, this is how it needs to look, and then I'm good. So we'll probably add a section since it won't be too hard to get that added. I can't give you a timeline on that, but it'll be something that's in the works, 100%. But if you guys do have a scenario we run into that, I'm more than willing to just hop on and we can troubleshoot it.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, with that being said, does everyone understand like the intention? This is very small. Like this is thinking small local businesses, right? Somewhere around you, maybe within 20 miles, 30 miles from you, right? That's one avenue. This also applies to way larger scopes. Think of like companies that have 50 to 60 employees working with sales teams. So you got a sales team, and those are having to send out manual texts and emails and do all of this stuff manually. And they're using a Google Sheet to house all that information. Imagine running an entire business off of one Google Sheet. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a nightmare. That's what most businesses run off of, right? So being able to take all that information and put it into something like a CRM where you can send out text messages automatically, you can track every phone call, every email being sent out all in one place, that's where you get into real value of more larger scale businesses, like businesses with sales teams. Like if you think about, okay, I see it everywhere. So I was at a storage unit place the other day, and it's called Affordable Storage. And the guy was trying to collect my information, and he wrote down my name and phone number, and he wrote it down on like this giant looking ledger. And I was like, oh my God, what a mess. Now, the thing with storage units is like, the guys at the front desk, they know what they're doing in terms of like, I want to get your information because they need to get sales, right? So they kind of work as like sales teams members themselves, even if they're at the front desk. So they're not going to let you leave until they got your email. So I gave him a fake email because I was like, I'm not going to get this storage unit here. But I gave him a fake email, but he wasn't going to leave until he got my email, right? And that's cool, right? Because that's what a business is supposed to do. They're supposed to find a way to get what they need. But the problem was he went and he put that name and email in this giant gross ledger. And I was like, oh my God. And sure enough, I never got a call or text. And I gave him my right phone number. I never got a call or text. And his job was to follow up with me, right? Try and get me back in the door. Hey, you know, you were interested in checking out such and such unit to store your stuff. You know, just want to check in, see if you found something. You know, any way we can talk through it. He's supposed to call and try and get me back in the door, try and get me to buy this storage unit. But I never got a call or text. And I can guess why. It's probably because he stored my information on this giant ledger. From the look of it, because I looked down, I saw what he had. From the look of it, there was no place that said, did I call this guy? Did I send him a text? Did I send him an email? There was no way for him to track that. So I don't even blame the guy. Like, he doesn't know. Like, he forgot about me, right? He probably got 12 more people that came in the door. Maybe one of them was interested in buying, that took up most of his time. So I would consider myself a missed follow-up, a missed opportunity for that business. Because maybe he called me and maybe he was like, man, I'll tell you what, we just got another unit. We're doing a discount right now. I know you said that you were looking for a unit. You're going to look at a couple different places. Look, if you get this one now, we can get it for you for, you know, $10 or I don't know. I think it was like $40 a month. We can get it now for $35 a month. Oh shit. You know what? Oh, sorry. I curse sometimes. I apologize. So it's like, oh crap. You know what? Let me go ahead and actually get that storage unit. Let me go ahead. Yeah, man. I'll be there today. I could have been an opportunity for him to actually get me in. But I never got a call, a text. Yeah, I know. Put it in the swear jar. Boop. But I never got a call or text from the guy. And I'm willing to bet it's because he tracked my information, that gross big ledger. And he didn't know if he was supposed to reach out to me. He didn't know if he was supposed to call me or text me or email me. And so turning that into a system where we can track every touch point, every point of contact, that could have been done automatically for him. We could have had an automation that said, hey, if someone didn't respond in 7 days, send them a text or email. That's automated. Now, the guy at the front desk, the poor guy with the giant ledger, isn't going to have to worry about that because it's all being done automatically for him. That's a storage provider, and affordable storage is a huge one. They're like 20 of these things here in Lubbock. I didn't know there was such a demand for that. But that's another example, right, of some company that might need some system like that set up. There's a place called Carpet Tech, and Carpet Tech, they clean carpets here in Lubbock, and it's like this super popular. The guy is like a huge, like, it was so funny because I remember I remember when I was real little, like that's when Carpet Tech first started coming up, and for some reason it sounded like everyone's dad worked for Carpet Tech or owned Carpet Tech. Like they're always Carpet Tech, Carpet Tech, Carpet Tech. So it's a really popular spot here in Lubbock. And what's funny is their system, they have some kind of like enticing system, like fill out this, you get this. They have like their landing page and different things like that. But I never see businesses like that have full-blown CRM built out, have full-blown automation built out where they're automating things for business, because that's missed money. Every time I get my information to someone and that person does, I don't get anything from that person. Anytime I give someone my information, my email and phone number, and that business never contacts me, I'm what that businesses would consider a missed opportunity. Regardless if I say yes or no at the business right then and there. If they don't reach out to me and try and follow up with me, I'm a missed opportunity. And businesses on average lose so much money depending on the market, depending on the business, because of that. And so being able to set systems up like this up for businesses, you can instantly increase revenue by like 20 to 30% by setting things like this up. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yep.
Any questions on CRMs, automations, kind of why we do this, how it matters, some of those real life examples? I always say this before you end class. Just look around you. Like, it's everywhere. And if you can't find a spot where it's there, think about how it could be involved in that business. An apartment complex, went down to the apartment complex, looked at their screen. There's my contact information. There's my portal. There's all my payments that I made to this complex. That's a CRM optimized for a apartment complex. I'm going to go home. How does that actually work? I Google it. I look up. I see that they have like, it's called Asking Property, different things like that. They have like CRMs that you can set up and things like that. Then I do a little Google search here in Lubbock. I look at like all the different portals that they're using, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like maybe 7 to 8 complexes that don't have something like this set up. That sounds like a nightmare. Like they're still doing it to where you have to like put an envelope in and drop your in a rent box. You know what I mean? And like that, like setting that up, that's a perfect opportunity, right? And so being able to actually go in and set these systems like this up, especially when you're starting out, you can do it for relatively low cost. Because one thing I want to make clear, guys, your first 2 to 3 projects are not going to be $10,000 projects. They're going to be simple $300 to $500 projects. They're going to be simple $100 to $200 projects, because you're going to have to learn while you build these systems, right? But just knowing that those are out there, right? You can go in and talk to these businesses. Like I did that with martial arts gyms, because I've been training jiu-jitsu for 7 years. I went to martial arts gyms and I would go like talk to them about their systems that they have set up. I'd build these systems for them. I make some good money. One I did it for just so I could train there for free. And I was like, yeah, I'll maintain it ongoing. It took me like maybe an hour and a half every, week or so to like check and make sure everything's running smoothly. But cool, I got to train there for free because I was setting this up for them. Right? So these are the things that you can keep in mind. If you have family members, relatives that own businesses, these are the things that you'll be able to set in and set up for those businesses. Now, I always say start locally. I always think about the small ones. But just know at the end of the day, that's not the first goal. That's not the 100% goal. The goal is maybe working for full time for a corporation that needs someone to do this full time, right? But we start small. We start small because businesses will hire someone for $75,000 to $100,000 a year to manage these systems, especially when they get really complex. Like Dustin, if you guys know Dustin, he works full time at DevSlopes. He does the curriculum and he does the classes, but he also manages most of our internal operations, and he's our BizOps engineer for the company, right? And these are things that companies will pay for full time. But we're starting with these small examples. We're starting with like local businesses because the value is still the exact same that you can bring to businesses. And this is how you start getting your foot into the door with these companies. Does that make sense, everyone? Awesome. 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 Any questions before we hop off today? I know Chris, Alan, Avery, Brooklyn, if you guys want to stay on, if anyone else wants to stay on, Kimberly, if you want to stay on as well, because I know you recently just started as well. I want to make sure you have access to everything as well, okay? And Ruby, were you able to get logged into everything by chance? Pressable, WordPress, and Discord?
Yes.
Say again?
Yes, I was.
Awesome, awesome. Well, guys, if you want to stay on, Kimberly, Alan, Chris, Brooklyn, Avery, and Steve, we'll make sure everyone can get access to everything. And then those of you guys, I thank you so much. Does anybody else have any other questions before we hop off? Awesome. Guys, y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Chris, I'm going to grade your assignment. Did you already submit it? You submitted it? Sweet. I'm going to grade that, baby.
Yes, sir. I sent
Awesome.
it in.
I'll grade it, and we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, guys,
Gotcha.
y'all have
Thank you
a
very
great
much.
rest of y'all's day.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.